Hey everyone, and welcome back to Entrepreneur Guide. Today we're going to be talking about the infamous Dan Bilzerian and the shady moves he has made. Make sure you stay till the end, so you don't miss out on a huge drama that went on. You seriously won't believe it. $50 million. In July, the news came that Ignite was $50 million in the red, a money-related difficulty that constrained Bilzerian's organization to consent to end the rent on his, leased by the organization, Los Angeles chateau, even as he was yachting around the Mediterranean. Then, shares in the organization failed, slipping from $1.44 Canadian to about 36 pennies, starting at the latest exchange. Terrible optics, an awful business. However, the exercise of the year 2020 is that there is no base. Thus, toward the end of last week, news broke that CannMart, a dispersion organization that moves Ignite marked items in Canada, where Bilzerian's firm is traded on an open market, was cutting off its association with Ignite. Theory is overflowing that web superstar and ruler of Instagram, Dan Bilzerian, is a stressed man, as his organization Ignite keeps on floundering in bankruptcy. The poker player turned internet character could be fleeing the country as his company gazes at closure in only a couple of weeks. Dan Bilzerian, scandalously known as the ruler of Instagram, is an American financial capitalist with 32.5 million devotees on the platform. He's additionally a novice poker player and has asserted that he got respectably released from the U.S. Navy SEAL subsequent to finishing his preparation. On Instagram, the majority of his posts are about his excessively rich lifestyle. Dan Bilzerian going bankrupt, facing legal troubles. Back in July, Bloomberg had revealed that previous Ignite president, Curtis Heffernan, has recorded a suit against the organization, asserting that he was terminated for declining to support Dan Bilzerian's excessive spendings. The organization has not been in the best budgetary shape and got $1.2 million in Paycheck Protection Program loans from the U.S. government in 2019. Besides, Ignite International Detail lost over $50 million a year ago, which has been reportedly credited to the CEO's lavish spending. The company right now has a bigger number of liabilities than resources. Dan Bilzerian has supposedly channeling financial specialist cash to fuel his costly habits. In the video that can be seen toward the end of this article, YouTuber Jamari discusses the issues, and furthermore, addressed Dan Bilzerian's poker abilities. The 39-year-old has broadly been supposed to be an underneath normal poker player, and has been reprimanded for his Casanova-like way of life, particularly with more youthful ladies. Also, the organization that he established is essentially bankrupt, and simultaneously owes over $40 million to financial specialists. King of Instagram? At a glance, Dan Bilzerian appears to have everything. His Instagram portrays a way of life that would be shown close to the meaning of hedonism in a dictionary. He generally has a gathering of two-piece clad wonders available whether he's at the seashore, flying his personal luxury plane, or in any event, lying in bed. His abundance appears to be monstrous, managing the cost of him the advantage of an existing of consistent traveling and joy chasing. The story goes that he made his fortune off by playing high-stakes poker, and it's a story he always portrays to whoever he speaks to in regards to the wellspring of his wealth. Yet, this story has fallen under investigation of late from real poker specialists, who have reactions going from the way that Bilzerian simply isn't that acceptable of a poker player to the way that there simply isn't as much cash to be made in poker as he claims to have made. The people who have attempted to follow the genuine source of his wealth have found that Dan's dad, Paul Bilzerian, served jail time for crimes related with his exercises as a corporate looter, in spite of the fact that he was requested to pay $62 million civil judgment for protections extortion. Paul Bilzerian just paid $3.7 million. Concerning the whereabouts of the remainder of his fortune, that remaining part's a secret. However, it's anything but a far unqualified presumption to expect that he used offshore and homegrown trusts to secure any remaining assets for his family. It might be enticing to believe that an Instagram celebrity furnished with a personally luxury plane, a bevy of attractive ladies available to him no matter what, and a few armloads of another person's money has precisely zero issues. That is the manner by which our general public trains you to think. And envying somebody in their circumstance is much additionally convincing with regards to months-long COVID-initiated disengagement. Yet, in any event, on account of Dan Bilzerian, this reasoning isn't right. For the CEO of Ignite, a still nascent and still undeveloped cannabis brand, the COVID-19 summer of 2020 has introduced difficulties in abundance. Also, if the most recent month is any sign, the harvest time might be more awful. End of the road for Ignite? Light neglected to document its Q2 financials on schedule, delivering it only more than 2 months after the cutoff time. Yet, this actually brings up a great deal of issues. However, they at long last delivered it so no one could find them. It's not on their site, which is frightful. What sort of open organization doesn't put its own financials on its own site? That's unbelievable. So they toss it on some site, which is truly difficult to get to. The Ignite organization began their year with $15.1 million and finished with the second quarter with $5.8 million. This infers it consumed more than $9 million in only half a year, converting into $1 million in a large portion of each month. Basically, Dan Bilzerian is a trustafarian, yet given the results of his own undertakings, he's not a brilliant one. Notwithstanding his own trust store, Bilzerian has been utilizing his organization Ignite International Brands, Ltd, as something of an individual motherlode. There appear to be a great deal of online characters, happily covering Bilzerian's trickiness. Maybe this is on the grounds that they can't stand him personally. Maybe it's to toss it to his supporters' appearances. The wellspring of his cash doesn't make a difference as much as the dream that he sold. Reality doesn't make a difference as long as this dream is as yet remaining steadfast. And if Dan is an ace at anything, it's at building this fantasy for people. Company in a worse financial crisis, as indicated by YouTuber Tom Nash, who as of late investigated Ignite's financial-related records for as far back as a half year. The organization is in critical budgetary situation that could see it close shop in only 14 days. As of late, Dan Bilzerian, who is Ignite's founder and CEO, has been posting genius Armenian patriot tweets that have left everybody thinking about what's truly going on with Dan and his organization. A few months prior, a report by Forbes uncovered that Ignite organization lost a faltering $50 million out of 2019, which was viewed as luxurious spending by the CEO. Lights International Brands works in a few items, including electronic cigarettes, cannabis, and others. Nonetheless, Dan Bilzerian has excused such gossipy tidbits, as proven by his recent tweets. In one of his tweets, he referenced Uber as an example to draw an equal and counter Chapter 11 theory about Ignite. Dan Bilzerian has been scrutinized by a significant number of substance makers before, and was reportedly called the man-infant of Instagram by YouTuber Philion, whose wellspring of financing is the organization Ignite International Limited, of which he is the CEO and originator. Nonetheless, as of late, it's been asserted that a large portion of his life depends on lies. Presidential changes. Remember that Ignite is a purchaser-centered brand that doesn't generally appear to sell all that much? The organization revealed $1.6 million in deals in 2020 in its latest budget reports, useful for just about $600,000 in real benefit. Add that to the news that Ignite rearranged organization authority again a month ago. John Schaefer, who as of late put an effort at cannabis unicorn MedMen, took over as president on September 1st, Ignite's third president since June. And what you're left with is an image of a thrashing business, sinking further into strife, or then again, whatever this is. In any event, with Schaefer, who gloats of stops at basic food item chains Wedgman's and drug Goliath Bayer's horticultural wing notwithstanding a year at MedMen, itself somewhat of a continuous dumpster fire, there's some coherence, as indicated by his LinkedIn. Schaefer's been with Ignite for over a year, joining the organization as head working official in August 2019, after a spell with MedMen, which he withdrew before the organization collapsed. Schaefer took over from Lester Lee, whose term as president kept going barely short of a quarter of a year. Lee, his previous endeavors include selling something many refer to as energy gum, stays on the organization's board of directors. Also, Lee was introduced as president toward the beginning of June, when he supplanted Curtis Heffernan. Heffernan left on June 8th to seek after different chances. Ignite at first asserted an official statement. That's valid, it might be said. Yet Heffernan is presently seeking after a claim against Ignite for, in addition to other things, terminating him as counter for standing up against what he portrayed as Dan Bilzerian's wanton and wild spending on the organization charge card. Heffernan wasn't hands-on long himself. He took over from Jim McCormick in November 2019. However, he has the qualification of being Ignite's second longest tenured president. Whew! 4 presidents in under a year? What's next for Ignite, other than looking for the following future ex-president? It's an incredible question. While you're here, go ahead and click one of these 2 videos on your screen. See ya there!